Hey, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you're doing well. So I was on Instagram, as I always am, and I found another really cool watch. We've made a video previously of a watch that we found on Instagram. It was the Schwarz Etienne Ode to the 70s. It was a really cool watch that was released at Basel World. This watch that we're going to be talking about today is the Louis Moinet Ultravox. It's such a cool watch and pretty awesome technological advance, but it's a really cool company too, and I think I'm going to do a history of their company in another video because it's a very cool company that has some really great watches coming out of them. But before we get into that, as always, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel. Really would help us out. We create watch content on just about anything, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. If you're not, go ahead and subscribe. It still would help us out. So as I said, I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across this really cool watch. It's called the Louis Moinet Ultravox, as I said. Louis Moinet is actually a Swiss watch company that was founded in 1906. It is an independent watch company located in Saint-Blas, Switzerland, and they focus on high-end timepieces. And when I say high-end, I mean very unique high-end timepieces. A lot of the times their watch cases are made out of exotic materials. Just to give you some examples of what they're made out of, some of their watches are made out of tropical fossilized palm wood. There are some watches that are made out of dinosaur bone, and also out of meteorites. So you've got some really interesting case materials that they utilize. This watch doesn't utilize any of those, but pretty unique watch case materials, as well as some pretty innovative technology. The name of the company, Louis Moinet, is actually named after the famous watchmaker Louis Moinet, and this company is this man, and by extension company, is obviously credited with inventing the first chronograph ever to be made. I'll put up a picture of them getting their Guinness Book of World Records plaque that says that they were the first chronograph ever made. Pretty awesome to have that as part of your history. But we'll talk about that company in a later video. But the Ultravox is this insane, they've made some pretty insane watches. Louis Moinet has made watches with things like double tourbillons with a kaleidoscope in them. So in their Mobilis model, I'll put up a picture of it obviously. So they have extreme complications when it comes to the watch that they make. But this time in the Ultravox, they've decided to create a striking mechanism on the dial side of the watch. They basically, instead of just having the hammer on the dial side of the watch, which is in a lot of other types of watches. Well, first, most hammers are actually in the back of the watch, hidden from sight. But they've decided to bring the hammer to the top of the watch. And furthermore, they've actually brought the entire mechanism to that hammer, to the dial side of the watch, which includes things like the levers and the levers that kind of move when you want the striking mechanism to work, as well as the hammers. Having it on the top of the dial really gives the watch a lot of depth when you look at it. I'll put up some pictures so you can see it. So instead of having it hidden, they brought it to the surface, and they have some really great blue finishing on the pieces of the watch movement that correspond to the striking mechanism. It strikes every hour, and at 8 o'clock you'll see there's a little lever that can silence the movement so it doesn't strike every hour, and then at 10 o'clock there's another lever that you can pull to strike the mechanism on demand. So if you want to just see how many hours have passed, you'd pull that and the hammer would strike based on the amount of hours that it is. So let's say it's 5 o'clock, it's going to strike 5 times. This movement was actually developed by a watchmaker and his team. His name is Eric Coudray. He has been involved in creating watches like the JLC Gyro Tourbillon. He's won multiple awards for the watchmaking, for his watchmaking. So he's a really iconic guy who's created some really innovative things within the modern watchmaking right now. This watch is limited to 28 pieces, and it's in pink gold, so it's not an exotic. Well, pink gold's quite a cool case material, but it's not like meteorite. And it's 28 pieces, and it's on an alligator leather strap. It retails for 130,000 Swiss francs, which is obviously a high price point, but a very cool watch, an awesome complication to have, and it's definitely something that'd be cool to have on your wrist. My opinions of it, I think they've really brought to life one of the best complications in watchmaking today. I've said this multiple times, I think striking mechanisms within watches are undervalued. I think one of the best vintage watches is the JLC Memovox. Obviously that's just an alarm watch, but this is a striking mechanism to tell you how many hours have passed. They've brought to life that complication, and by doing that, they've allowed you to learn about the technical aspects behind a watch and bring them to the surface and make it the most important part of the watch, which allows you to learn. It also allows watch enthusiasts to really realize that the mechanisms behind the watch have a lot of value when it comes to your watch. And I think they've seamlessly integrated that technical aspect and appreciation for the technical aspect with a beautiful laid out case and dial, which is ultimately, you know, you're gonna look at your wrist, you're gonna see the aesthetics of the watch. They've kind of seamlessly integrated both of those to create a really awesome watch. Obviously it's pretty expensive. They're probably all sold out. I didn't actually look that up to see if there were any available, but it's a good way to spend 130,000 Swiss francs if you have it. Let me know what you think about this watch. It's definitely a divisive watch. Perhaps you won't like it, but I think it's a pretty awesome watch with a really cool complication. And again, if you have made it this far and you haven't already liked this video, if you like this video, it ends up reaching more people because it's, you know, suggested on YouTube, etc, etc, etc. So you know the drill. Hit that like button and let me know what you think about the watch. And on that note, I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day.